Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Two Dudes One Up Gaming Podcast. My name is Chris.
And I'm Ian. And we're here to talk to you about everything upcoming in gaming and upcoming games.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Chris?
My weekend was full of Fallout.
Nice.
I played Fallout 4. I'm almost done. Almost done. Put a lot of time. How about you? What'd you do?
I got a lot of chores. I adulted pretty hard this weekend. Built a new dresser, did some laundry.
Oh.
Just adulted. Set up my Switch finally to my Switch dock so I could play some games on that.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it was pretty productive weekend for me.
Yeah, didn't you say you found a TV in your closet?
Yeah, well, yeah, I've had a TV since 2005. It's an older TV that could still do 720p and 1080i. So I originally had set that up, but then I went through and I decided to treat myself and I bought a new TV, a more updated, recent one with some more HDMI inputs.
Okay.
I figured, I adulted real hard. I've been on this weight loss journey. I've been doing real good with it. I think it was okay for me to treat myself just a little bit and get a new
treat
TV.
yourself.
Yeah. So that was about it.
Okay.
I mean, we're coming off the tail end of E3. Everyone knows all the big games and stuff that we'll be seeing upcoming in the future. But we had a couple of games being released this week. It's not a huge, release week. I know upcoming tomorrow we have The Lost Child is coming out for PS4, Vita, and the Switch. That's a turn-based RPG type of game. It's kind of anime fan service-esque, but the cutscenes seem pretty cool. So, I mean, I looked at that a little bit earlier, but I wouldn't expect too much from the gameplay.
Yeah. Also tomorrow is another DLC for Darkest Dungeon entitled The Color of Madness. If you don't know what Darkest Dungeon is, it's a kind of grim, dark tale about a group of people who go to a castle and delve its dungeons in order to find its treasures and discover the secrets of the man who once lived there. It's a turn-based game. It's a little bit RPG-like. You have individual characters that level up and you gain abilities and such, but when they finish the dungeon, they're gone. So it's interesting. It's a good one. I enjoy it. On the 21st, Minecraft comes out for the Switch. So just one more place you can put blocks together and make a giant Fortress of Doom or build a giant penis.
It's a popular game. Everybody loves it.
That's true.
So I wouldn't be too surprised. On the 22nd, which I believe is Thursday or Friday. Well, we've got two games coming out. Yeah, we got two games coming out on Friday. We got New Gundam Breaker for the PS4 and the PC. I don't know too much about this game. It's another Gundam robot, third person over the shoulder, beat 'em up shooter kind of deal.
Yeah.
But the game that I'm waiting for coming out on Friday, Mario Tennis Aces, comes out, gets released. I already have it preloaded on my Switch, ready to go.
Nice.
I played through the demo tournament when they had it. It's pretty cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you haven't played a game since Wii Tennis, you should probably pick this one up. It's gonna be a good party game to play with your friends, and I think the online support and the online tournament system is gonna be pretty cool. So I expect it's another game in the Mario line. I expect big things from it, and it'll deliver. It's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
So that's really about it. We kind of tore through that pretty quick. Yeah. So have you been playing anything cool? You said you've been playing Fallout 4.
Yeah, I was playing Fallout 4 over the weekend. I saw E3 and I was looking at 76 and I was like, and I was like, I never did finish 4, so I should just go do it. So I probably would have actually finished 4 had I not spent a total of 6 hours or so modding the game.
Yeah.
But once it had reached a sufficient level of betterness, improvement, we went ahead and played it. I feel like we're almost through it. I know you and I were playing some Pulsar.
We played some Pulsar the other night.
Flew around the galaxy.
That was a lot of fun.
Decided not to shoot things. Did a lot of smuggling missions. That was cool. I've been playing Jurassic World Evolution, as you might guess.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Cool?
I don't know how I really feel about that game. I keep shifting my opinion on it. Sometimes I go from this is really enjoyable to I really wish this game was better. And I really think my end opinion of it is kind of both. Like, it's a very fun game for casuals. If you just don't like management games at all, but you like Jurassic World, you'll probably love this game. Me, I love management games. I want stats and numbers, and like when you tell me you're making a park builder that it's going to have people in the park and power grids and all this stuff, I'm like, oh, I want to get in and down and deep with the numbers on that. And the game really, it doesn't have any numbers, so it's not like as a management game. I would say it's like a 3 out of 10, but as like just a general game, I'd say it's like a 7. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun playing Pulsar. I feel like it gets a little. I feel like it gets a little repetitive in the sense that like you have to do a lot of the same things over and over and over again to get from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. But it seems like there's a good diverse quest. Like you don't run into the same quests all that often.
Yeah.
Everything kind of feels new and fresh. So I mean, I've been enjoying it. Just playing the roles and all that fun stuff.
Good.
Fortnite came out for the Switch. I started playing that, just to see how the differences were between the Switch and the PC. And yeah, it's hard. Playing on a controller is hard. I love the mouse and keyboard controls, and I think I'm going to stick with that. Played some Destiny 2 over the course of the week. That was just getting my weeklies and stuff done there. And then my plans for tonight post stream are to play the Octopath Traveler demo that was released during E3. It's the Square Enix game RPG for the Switch it was announced at the Switch launch. So now we've got a little bit more stuff that we can kind of bite our teeth into. So I'm excited to see, how that gameplay kind of plays out.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then
Cool.
I think the last thing I was doing, I know we were playing Pulsar, and at some point you commented like, "Why are you playing Elite Dangerous right now?" I was like, "Oh yeah, because I was installing Elite Dangerous while we were playing that." So that's been good fun. Just kind of hopping back in the cockpit, flying around the universe. I'm flying around in a Dolphin, transporting people about, trying to make money, and getting blown up all the time. So it's good stuff. Yeah. Moving on to gaming news. You want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Earlier today, the world was in a panic. The PlayStation Network was down.
Within an hour ago, it all went down. Your PS4, up. PS3, and Vita, it's all down. Oh, is it back up?
It is back up.
It is back up. Okay.
The status page now shows all services working again. Who knows if it will drop back out or not. It impacted everything, and it looked like they just went all hands on deck to get it back up and going. So, there was a minor freak out, but it looks to be taken care of, and everything is A-okay on the Sony front at this point in time. Do you want to take the next couple of ones here?
Yeah, sure. So if you watch the Bethesda press conference at E3, you know that they're working on Elder Scrolls 6. They may not actually be working on it. It's a planned project. They've finally said they're actually going to be doing it. They're releasing, I forget what the name of the game is, and then they're doing Elder Scrolls 6. But somebody went ahead and they registered the Elder Scrolls 6 Hammerfell.com, and they actually beat Bethesda to it. And if you go to this website, you will be rickrolled. You have been warned. I went ahead and got a little bit curious just because I do this kind of thing. I looked up the ICANN Who Is on this website, which are you familiar with what this is?
I mean, I am, but people in the
ICANN is it's essentially the large database of registrations for websites. And it's a public domain information resource, and they have a lookup service on their website. So if you register a domain and you don't make its information private, you can go look that up on Whois. And even if it is private, you can still look up limited information about that domain. So I went ahead and I did a Whois query on this domain, and I found out that it was registered underneath the name of an organization called Bethesdia Softworks, a subsidiary of pimpyourpenis.com, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. And like I said, if you go there, you will be rickrolled. And that's it. That's really all it is. Oh, and the guy who registered is somewhere in Connecticut.
Okay.
So that's all on that front. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
So moving on to more like actual newsy news. Ethereum, one of the large cryptocurrencies these days, has recently taken a large drop in its sale price, or not its sale price, but in what you can make while mining it. So a year ago, in I want to say July 2017, if you had a GTX 1070 and you tweaked it right, you could make about $6 per day if just straight running that thing. And so you could make a decent amount of money doing that over time. You make
pay for the
your
card
purchase
over
a couple of months.
days,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
As of today, what you can make from Ethereum mining on a GTX 1070 set up the same way is 56 cents per day. So the amount of money that you can make mining it has dropped quite a bit.
Okay.
And this is overall good news for the PC hardware market. Because
I know for a while graphics cards have skyrocketed because over in Russia they've been buying them all out, trying to like pretty much farm and mine all of the coins they could. This kind of showcases. I mean, not showcases, but this kind of, it shows that it's not a viable income stream really anymore. So, people aren't going to be, the demand for graphics cards aren't going to be as high, and it's going to turn around and lower the price of cards back to their original MSRP.
Yeah, and considering the power requirements of the farms that are run, if the drop continues, we're going to see a lot of sort of reselling of GPUs as the cost of electricity starts to exceed profits. So I think we'll see a lot of kind of refurbished cards popping up here and there. But this has already had an impact on the market in that a lot of the higher versions of cards have already started to stabilize for a while now, but the lower versions of cards have still been cheap enough and good enough that they were still viable to purchase for this kind of thing. That is no longer the case in large majorities of what am I trying to say? That's more or less no longer the case. We're starting to see those cards come back at MSRP. The perfect example of this is that as of today, EVGA, one of the biggest manufacturers of GPUs, is selling a GTX 1060 on Amazon for $250, which is MSRP. That is right back on standard track. So if you're looking for graphics cards and you're wondering when you can buy a 1080 Ti, I'd say wait until the 11 series is announced. Yeah, because it's happening soon. But it looks like we're starting to get back into reasonable prices for GPUs, which is nice because I'm getting to the point where I need a new one.
Actually, there's some people that I'm dealing with that they're not dealing with, but there's people I work with that are getting super interested in building their own PC for the first time, and I'm just kind of like, hold the line, guys. Don't pull the trigger on graphics cards yet. It's going to come back down. Yep. You're going to easily save $200, $250 on these graphics cards when they finally get down, especially when they're at a refurbished price. You're just going to save even more money off of them.
For sure. That said, just kind of an off the cuff, I would probably not buy a refurbished card, considering the conditions that I think a lot of them will be operating in. I don't really want my hands on one.
But for a casual gamer,
for a casual gamer, absolutely. First time picking up a card. No, all day long. It's a good take.
This one is not on the list, but I did want to talk about it briefly,
right?
Because you had mentioned the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, or the
Elder Scrolls 6, whatever.
Yeah, have you ever played the mod for Skyrim called the Forgotten City? It was like an all new content kind of mod.
Yeah, I played it on stream a few months ago.
They're releasing a standalone version of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was announced at E3 and kind of just kind of skirted the information there. They didn't really drop too much about it, but it's going to retain everything from the original mod. It's going to be its own standalone version, and I believe the original version had 1.6 million people or 1.5 million people.
Yeah, it was real popular.
Yeah, so I think they're rebuilding it in the Unreal Engine. So and they're adding things like new lore and endings, some combat, some wall climbing mechanics,
Okay.
a new score. They've got some professional voice actors this time around, and I think
Nice.
they're even doing motion control animations. So,
Oh, good. All right.
uh,
Nice.
yeah, so expect it to be released sometime in 2019. So if you played the mod and you enjoyed it, I mean, it's only gonna be a better version of it.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
pretty
There have
stoked
been
about
some
that.
really good mods for Skyrim that have come out over the few years, and the total conversions are always really, really nice, especially because
Yeah.
they're just so all encompassing. I think Forgotten City was one of my favorites, along with Enderall was another really good one.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Very cool.
sounds awesome. So moving on here a little bit, CD Projekt Red, the people behind the Witcher series, and also behind Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. They have released a little bit more information about Cyberpunk. Some more stuff kind of came out at E3, but one of the more interesting things that they released was just a little technical note that I thought was really interesting and kind of exciting. The Cyberpunk trailer that was revealed at E3 was actually rendered in engine. That was not a like pre-rendered cinematic. That was an in-engine rendering, and they did it on a computer they had at E3 when they ran it, and they released the specs of that computer. I'm not going to go too deep into what they are, but I'll tell you it had an Asus motherboard. It had an i7 8700 running at 3.7 gigahertz. It had 32 gigs of RAM. Was running on a GTX 1080 Ti. It was using a SSD hard drive with 512 gigs, and it had a 600 watt power supply. So, like a gaming computer, right? Like I wouldn't call
but
it
not an obscene, over the top,
Yeah.
unreasonable. That's a build that's very viable, probably
Yeah.
around the $1,500 mark.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
right about
assume,
there.
you know, yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
So
I
that
mean,
sounds good.
That's awesome.
That
No,
looks
it
like
looks great.
something that could be really, really, really exciting. Considering they're able to achieve that amount of graphical fidelity, just like on something that they had there. And what's crazy is that they're so far along. They actually that was a build of the game. That like it was running in engine as a build. Like this is not a demo set.
Yeah.
They built what they had and
Yeah.
ran around in it for a little while and
Right.
picked out some scenes, and there's a trailer. So that was pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say the first review for PC controls for Madden 19 is out, and I think it's an interesting dynamic because the game is it's been on console for so long, and it hasn't been on a PC format for like almost 15, 20 years. It's one of those situations where everyone was concerned on whether or not PC controls would be as good as having a controller.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually the other way around. Usually everyone's like, oh, keyboard and mouse is always going to be better than controller. So the first review has come out on this, and instead of binding player control to the WASD keys, all of the player control is done via the mouse. The mouse becomes a virtual thumbstick, pretty much, and then all of your passing and stuff kind of happens through the keyboard commands. So, unfortunately, as of right now, the keyboard controls are not remappable. But maybe down the line they'll probably allow it. There's going to be a need for it. But I can understand for competition. The Madden community is a big competitive community. To have a standardized key controller PC thing that they can use for tournament play makes the most sense for me right now. So it's interesting that they put some thought into it to really try to optimize the PC experience. And I'm interested to see how more and more reviews come out to see how people are really feeling about it. Madden football is a franchise that means the world to me. I mean, I'm a big football fan, and I've been playing those games since 2002. So, this is it's an exciting day for PC and football fans.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. For a long time, I've always held the position that I personally prefer to play a game with a controller as long as I don't need to aim. If I have to aim, give me a keyboard and mouse. But if I'm just chilling out, doing anything, like I've been playing Fallout 4 on a controller because it's got VATS. I don't really have to aim. And it's been a lot of fun that way. But if I'm playing something like PUBG or Destiny, like I'm gonna want a keyboard and mouse just because I want to be precise. But it's really cool to see that there are more control schemes, just kind of being tinkered with and worked with. I think that's a really good thing. I think the more options we have, the better the experience can be as a whole. So that's definitely good to see. One other little piece of news we had here. I'm sure you've heard me talk about The Long Dark in the past.
Yeah, you had me play it a little bit. It was neat.
Yeah. It's kind of a little survival game that takes place in the Canadian wilderness after some type of anomaly happens and power goes out. But they're adding a new cooking system to the game. So instead of before where it was a menu interface, now you get like a pot and some stones and around your fire and stuff. And so you're supposed to just put the food items on top of a hot surface and cook them. And of course, if you wait too long, you'll burn them. If you don't cook them long enough, they won't cook all the way, and you'll risk food poisoning and all that stuff. And then the second update they're doing is they are releasing another region for the game, putting it into survival mode only. And the region is called Hushed River Valley. Really, I think survival mode is the way that game is what you're supposed to be playing with that game. That's what was there for a very long time. They released a story mode for it, for its release, and it was not very well received. I believe it's been completed at this point. I really haven't followed up with it because I had no interest in it after playing the first 2 episodes. It just wasn't great. But the survival mode is where the game really shines. So it's nice to see that they're still supporting that, adding new content and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on from there, something was real near and dear to your heart, I think.
Yeah, people who get to know me as a person, as a friend, I live. You know what? We're not that huge. I live in Orlando, Florida, home of theme parks. Disney lives here. Universal lives here. There are roller coasters every which way. It's a beautiful thing. A couple of years back, I think in 2015, Nintendo decided to pair up with Universal Studios to open up a series of theme parks over the course of Universal Studios California, Universal Studios Orlando, Florida, and Universal Studios Japan. Now, I believe the first Super Mario, and they announced Super Mario World. So each 3 of these places are all going to get a Super Mario World area with the same rides in it. And I believe the first ones are going to be open in Japan around 2020. So over the last year or so, there have been, like the patents for things have come out, and parts of the park have started to close for renovation. And the big thing kind of was this thing that started up called Project 487, which is apparently going to be phase 1 of the Nintendo themed attractions at Universal Studios. And it's Universal Studios proper, not Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. In Orlando, there's 2 parks side by side. They're all part of the same area. It's there, but they're separate tickets and the whole deal. But so in Universal Studios proper, the plan in Project 487 is kind of shutting down this whole kids zone area that already currently exists. Some of the attractions in that area are A Day at the Park with Barney, Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster, Curious George Goes to Town, Fievel's Playland, and then there's like this thing called Animal Actors on Location that had like birds and like some exotic animals that like were interacting with people out on the street and stuff like that. So these are the thing about Universal Studios is everything has kind of been dated, and over the course, they've been opening new stuff, and the Harry Potter stuff has been absolutely successful. They opened a new Fast and the Furious ride that apparently is doing okay. Transformers opened up a couple years back. The Simpsons area opened, I think 4 or 5 years back. So they're really kind of closing up pretty much all of the attractions except for ET, which has a contract forever. They have a infinity lifetime contract that ride will never go away. Steven Spielberg made sure that ride will always be fundamentally a Universal Studios ride. So the information has kind of come out, and everyone originally thought that this Project 487 was going to be the Super Mario World, but apparently it's not. Nintendo's really backing this project big time. So much so that they decided to move this project, this Nintendo Super Mario World, out of this Project 487 area inside Universal Studios, and is building it as part of a 500-acre, like a new park, a brand new theme park that Universal Studios is going to be opening. Unfortunately, it kind of pushes that original 2021 opening year back to 2023. So it's going to be a couple of years down the line more until we see this stuff. And I will talk about the ride specifically here in a minute. But I just wanted to let people know that Project 487, I tried to get this officially confirmed due to some contacts that I have, but they have been super, super tight-lipped. But expect a Pokemon-themed area. Especially taking over a kids zone area. Mm-hmm. They still want to appeal to that market and kind of reuse the area as best as possible. So it seems like Pokemon would be the perfect fit for this kind of thing. I know there are a lot of people who play.
I imagine there'd be some pretty crazy Pokemon Go tie-ins at that location.
Exactly.
As well. It'd be a hot spot. You'd find all kinds of like rare and legendary Pokemon there.
Yeah, actually, Universal Studios in general is people are still playing it there. It's super, super popular. So why not tie into that and make it a thing? Also, its release date, because there's already been work being done, they're already ahead of the game, and the supposed release date for this is going to be 2020. So this will put it in line with things like a year after Detective Pikachu comes out. We have the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. That's coming out next year. And also there's supposed to be that other Switch Pokemon game that's supposed to come out after that, the whole brand new standalone Pokemon game. So it seems like it should make sense to open up a new Pokemon area in that time frame. So I think it's a smart move if they end up going that route. It seems like it's going to be that's what they're going to end up doing. Now, with the Super Mario World stuff, this is going to be a pretty big area. It's going to be there's going to be some sub areas to it. You walk in Super Mario World, you come in through Peach's Castle, you'll see Bowser's Castle. There's going to be a whole bunch of shops and some sit down restaurants with Super Mario themed foods. And there's going to be a couple of cool rides that they've been putting out patents for. Some rides that are actually going to really push the envelope when it comes to theme park attractions. Starting with the easy stuff, there's expected to be like a Yoshi family ride where you can hop on some Yoshis and like travel a track above the themed area and kind of do like the tour around the area. There's going to be like an Omni Mover ride, which I don't know if you're familiar with an Omni Mover, but it's kind of like the track that keeps moving.
Yeah.
Has a bunch of seats, and you just kind of walk on, sit down, do the ride, and hop off. Kind of like Haunted Mansion at Disney, or the People Mover at Epcot. And apparently, the Omni Mover is going to be like along the lines of like the traditional Super Mario experience, where you're going through the levels, collecting coins, getting power ups. You're going to have interactions with things like thwomps coming down on your head and all sorts of stuff. I saw some patents for that. All the patents are available online if you do some searching, and some of it's super, super cool. So we're going to have that Yoshi family ride. We're going to have Omni Mover ride. There'll be another kids play area. But the two really big rides that they're going to be toting. The big one's going to be the Super Mario Kart experience. This is going to be a kart ride on a track. You're not going to be able to control how fast you're going. It's not traditional racing. It's not going to be like a go-kart experience.
Right, it'd be like a ride.
It's going to be it's going to be similar to something like Test Track. Yeah. So the patents for the entry kind of show two carts that kind of hold four people each, so two in the front, two in the back, and they're going to start together side by side. And then as they go down the track, they're going to kind of go forward and back and fight back and forth. the cool thing about this is it's going to be huge, and they're using actual sets. A lot of the theme park stuff, a lot of the newer stuff coming out, all the Harry Potter stuff has been, a ride on a track, but like a lot of displays that like you turn into a room and there's like a big giant screen and you watch everything on the screen. Then you turn around, there's another screen. They're building full on sets for this. There's going to be 10 different tracks that you kind of go through in the course of this ride. They haven't really announced all of them, but expect Bowser's Castle, expect the beach level, Luigi's Mansion is going to be one, and they're going to do Rainbow Road. Everyone,
Oh yeah, you can't not do Rainbow Road.
Yeah. So the cool
I
thing
imagine
about
that one's going to have some screens in it, though.
They're going to do some LED wall stuff. Actually, the funny thing is, they've put out these really cool patents with these warp pipes that they're going to do. These warp pipes to kind of get you between the sets. It's going to be the only part that uses like LED wall technology, but the LED walls are going to move. So you're not just driving by. The walls are going to come back the other way, and they're going to split apart. They're going to move. It's going to make you feel like you're going a lot faster than you actually are. So that's pretty cool in the way that they kind of have those things designed. Another really cool patent they have right now for this ride is a drifting feature, which are going to be able to be controlled by the people in the back seats. So like Mario Kart, you tap R, you turn it to the side, you skid out, you kind of wait for the smoke to turn orange, you let it go, and you zoom off. And the big thing is that the cart like swings out to the side, and you start drifting. So the people in the back are going to be able to control how far left and right the cart swings. So there's going to be a pivot point in the front, and then they'll be able to swing it out right or swing it out left, which will be something pretty cool to deal with, because this ride is also going to be the first ride ever to use augmented reality glasses. They have patents out for that. So they understand that, the key to the Mario Kart experience is being able to interact with the stuff going on around you.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is to collect power-ups and use the power-ups and interact with other Super Mario characters. Now, the best way to do that, they figured, is if you wear these augmented reality glasses, you'll be able to see, other famous characters from Super Mario like come through, get, to really kind of give you a sense that there's more things going on the track. Plus, if you collect power-ups, you'll be able to use the power-ups. If they drop things behind, I'm sure that's where the swinging and the drifting of the cart's going to come into play. So I think that stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, they're dropping some buku dollars into the development of this ride, and I know it's going to be a couple of years down the line, but like it's gonna be pretty sick once it comes out. I find that like every 5 years, every 6 years, there's usually like a real big development in ride technology. We saw it back in the day with the Mummy, going forwards and backwards, and that whole deal with that roller coaster. So we'll see what happens here with that one. And then the second really big ride that they're kind of pushing is going to be in a sub area of this Mario world. It's going to be Donkey Kong Country. So you're going to be able to go in and take photos with Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong and the whole Kong family. But the main ride is going to be a roller coaster. Yeah, Cranky Kong. But they're going to do this roller coaster, and it's going to be the Donkey Kong minecart coaster. So you're gonna hop in a minecart, you're gonna jump around, you're gonna ride the tracks and stuff like that. But like, in your opinion, in the Donkey Kong Country games, like what was the coolest part about the minecart stuff?
I mean, you could jump, like you could go from one track to another.
Exactly. So this roller coaster is running on 2 sets of tracks. There will be the track that the minecart is on, and then you will also be attached to another track underneath. So you will be able to jump your cart off of the track onto another track. You will be, it'll simulate you being airborne as you hit the ramp.
Right. You're really attached to the lower track, and the top one is the one that like it looks like you're on. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll get that simulation of weightlessness and like really being. So I think that's pretty.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm super stoked
There are
about
some
this.
serious engineering challenges involved in making that work, but that sounds legit.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is they put so much money into like with the Harry Potter stuff, and it's paid dividends tenfold.
Yeah.
There's two Harry Potter parks there that are interconnected with another ride, and just the experience as a whole is absolutely amazing. So I'm super excited to see like how this Nintendo World comes out, because as a fan, like it's just being able to step foot in Super Mario World, you know, and seeing the places from like Mario 64 that like that was my childhood.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that's gonna be. I'm gonna be I'm so stoked for that. I don't think I can even wait for 2023.
I would love to walk up to Peach's castle and have the little cloudy guy on a camera, the Lakitu, come up to me and be like,
yeah, you know, that would be super cool. And like I said, this is the Project 487 is just phase one. You know, like there's 3 phases to this. There's the Pokemon area that they're kind of working on at Universal Studios. There's going to be the Super Mario World, like standalone theme park area in this new 500-acre square foot land that, you know, like no one really knows what they're going to do with. And there's also going to be in Islands of Adventure, they're going to renovate some of that area eventually to put another Nintendo themed area in. And you know, the speculation there's really no info on that yet.
Yeah.
But the speculation right now currently is that it's going to be a Legend of Zelda themed area. So that'll be super cool. And seeing that, like, and it makes sense because Universal Studios proper is more of a family-oriented, you know, fun for the whole, you know, family. And Islands of Adventure was always more that like thrill-seeking, thrill ride, you know, go in. So it's got a little bit, I don't say more adult ride content, but like it's definitely more. It's a little bit more. I can't think of the appropriate word.
It's not kid focused; it's teenager focused.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Park is rated teen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Park is rated teen. Fun for 13 and up.
Yo, like if they actually made a Legend of Zelda, like if they actually made Hyrule, like just took 500 acres and just made Hyrule that I could walk around in, like let me visit Lon Lon Ranch, let me go check out Kakariko Village, like let me go see Death Mountain, let me go check out Lake Hylia, like that would be so legit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
and,
have a castle town that has an archery game in it, you know? Have a happy mask salesman who sells masks.
Well, the area that it might actually be at in Universal Islands of Adventure is an area called the Lost Continent already, and they'll probably in that and then build on top of it. The big stuff that's in that section is they have this water fountain that interacts with guests. It talks to guests. There's somebody hidden away somewhere, and it's like a wishing well. So you throw like a penny in, and then it talks to you, and you know it'll ask you questions, and it'll make fun of you. It can spit water at you, you know. So that's adorable. But the other thing, the attraction in that area is a thing called Poseidon's Fury, which is a little bit dated, but I still love this attraction. It's a walking attraction, so you walk inside of this temple, and there's a character actor who is your host that kind of gives you the story, and then you move through rooms. The really cool thing is it's got this walkway that spins all the way around you in a circle. Yeah. And like just the pure force of this water just going around you is intimidating. And then you walk into this room where they start it's like waterfalls everywhere, and they project on the waterfall, and the character actor interacts with the movie going on all the water. And so like to me that seems like the most easy thing that they can do to just reskin it. You know, You walk in there and you're already there, and Link is your host, and you're gonna save the princess, and you got to go over here and get the Triforce pieces. Yeah, I think that would make the most sense to kind of start with.
Yeah, really cool too. I would enjoy the hell out of that.
Yeah. So, you know, who knows? It's an exciting time for theme parks. Sure. The technology is getting insane, especially with virtual reality picking up big time and augmented reality becoming a thing that I mean, AR, augmented reality, it's the real deal. It's the future.
Oh yeah.
Expect to see it for shops. You know, you're gonna, yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Oh yeah, like one of the really cool use cases I've heard proposed for AR in stores, especially in women's clothing stores, is you put on a pair of glasses, you have a little scanner, you scan a tag on a dress, you stand in front of a mirror, and it shows you what you would look like wearing that dress, so you don't have to go like try on everything.
Yeah,
like that would be great.
Yeah,
in terms of just saving time at a store.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for theme parks coming on in the future. So
yeah,
that's my little report on everything that's going on with the Super Nintendo world. As more information comes out, I'll be sure to bring it up. But you know, it's probably going to be a little bit until we find anything else that's new. But if you're interested, I mean, there's plenty of patents online. I could find the images. You know what? I'll find the patent images and I'll put it up in our Discord. So anybody who's interested in seeing some of the ride technology, just you can log into our Discord. It's over here in the little display here. So just come check that out. Join us, and I'll have that content up hopefully by the end of the stream.
Yeah, for sure. That is a lot of stuff, and it sounds like that's going to be really awesome. Actually, I will definitely be checking out Super Mario World when that comes out, and probably Pokemon World too when that happens.
Yeah.
One of the things we touched on while we were talking about all of that is the new Pokemon game coming out for the Switch, the next one, like in the main series. For a really long time, I have always thought that a Pokemon game, like a real one, on a console, just to benefit from that kind of power and interactivity, would have been a really good experience, and I'm just really glad to see that happening. And I really think the way that the 3DS is sort of being phased out and the Switch is being made to be the one thing that you buy from Nintendo now, really, I think that really just gives rise to the opportunity to put Pokemon on the console. And I'm excited to see what happens, because it's gonna look nice, it's gonna feel nice. The one thing I've always thought would be really cool is, did you play Final Fantasy 12?
Briefly.
Okay, you know how the monsters were just there in the world and you could just see them?
Yeah.
I always thought it would be really cool if in a Pokemon game you could walk around and it was full 3D and you could scroll the camera, full around like that, and you could see Pokemon just in the world, and you could decide whether you wanted to go fight them or not. And it would still be like in tall grass and all that stuff, but there just wouldn't be random encounters. Instead, what would happen is you could wait around, and the Pokemon would eventually wander away off into grass, or despawn or something like that, and then new Pokemon would come in. And so if you were looking for something specific, you could wait around, or if you wanted to go fight something, you could just go fight the thing, and then when you did that, a new one would spawn in someplace and walk on in. And it would be the same algorithm for, a randomly generated fight. It's just that you wouldn't activate the fight randomly. You would choose to do that. And I think doing that, along with a Pokemon Stadium style battle system in a Pokemon game, would be the sickest thing. And then if they decided to go voice acting, either here or there, I don't know. But if they decided to go with that, that could be really cool. That could be a legit. You don't have to change the mechanics or the formula, just change its presentation, and it could be this wildly different experience.
Yeah, so absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
That could be really nifty. Well, I feel like we've basically covered all the things that we had to cover today.
Yeah.
It was just
if there's any other.
Yeah, it was just kind of a slow week. I mean, it wasn't like there was nothing happening, but.
Well, we're all coming down from E3. We've got that E3 hangover. We were just overloaded and flooded with information.
Yeah.
And now everybody's kind of just getting back to it. So yeah, it is definitely a little bit of a slow news week. But it is what it is. We'll be we'll be back at it sometime pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anything else big is going on. I know Ninja. I know Ninja for Fortnite, big Twitch streamer, one of the biggest Twitch streamers alive. I know he's announcing a Fortnite Duos tournament coming up sometime soon.
Yeah.
GDQ's right around the corner as well.
Yeah.
For the speedrunning community. Guardian Con's coming up in mid-July. I'm thinking about actually coming down. I think I'm coming down to go to Guardian Con this year.
Really? I've been thinking about buying a ticket.
Yeah, I think it's only like $50 for a 2-day pass.
It's worth it. Yeah, and
it's not bad.
Where is it, in Tampa this year?
It's in Tampa. It's at the convention center right by Amalie Arena.
Oh yeah,
so
okay,
right in the heart of Tampa. It's gonna be close to the taco bus. And
everybody's gonna go to Guardian Con, and everybody's gonna go get diarrhea, and that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a hell of an experience. No, Guardian Con should be really legit, especially since the new expansion will be playable there, or like a demo part of it, kind of thing. Yes. At least the PvP mode or the new the new Crucible mode. Yeah.
Gambit.
Yeah. It's not PvE, but it's not PvP, but it's both at the same time. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna enjoy that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Two things. First, I just wanted to briefly address something that's kind of going on behind the scenes with the podcast here. We have been getting copyright claimed all over the place on YouTube. You may have noticed that episode 11 was there, and then it was completely gone. And you may have noticed that episode 12 just didn't make it to YouTube at all. And this is because we have been having trailers in our content. So we will not be shying away from showing trailers on Twitch. By no means will we stop doing that. But one of the things that I am going to be doing is going through, and from this podcast, from last week's podcast forward, no trailers will be present in any of our YouTube or recorded stuff. So we're just trying to avoid any unnecessary red tape that we need to jump through. We've been disputing them, and we have largely been winning, because it's just like it'll be like music that's played in a trailer, right? That like is already okay to use, and it's well within fair use to do so. But we're starting to avoid some red tape, so we're going to be doing that. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering where all the trailers went and why we'll say, and here it is, and we're back, it's because we're cutting them.
Yeah.
So we're sorry, we don't want to do it, but it's something that we just kind of have to take care of.
And we'll try to be good about adding the links to the trailers that we're showing into the videos,
doubly so now. I've been it's been me who's been uploading all the stuff there, and I apologize for the occasional slowness, but as I've said, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes on with it, and especially going forward now, we'll definitely have the links to the trailers in the descriptions so that you'll be able to get those. And I'll go back starting with episode 11, which I have just re-uploaded. It should have been available at the beginning of this podcast. So I'll go through and I'll make sure we get the trailer links put into the description for that video. We'll get them inside of 12. We'll get them in this episode. So just so you guys are aware of what's going on with us, just a little bit of transparency on our side. We're working on stuff. We're trying to get it working out. All that good stuff.
Come join us on the Discord channel. Let us know the things that we're here for you guys as much as we are enjoying talking to each other. So if there's things that you want us to talk about, topics and stuff that you want us to discuss, please let us know.
Do you have a joke you think we laugh at?
Yeah, just put it up in general. Come hang out with us. I think we're going to start maybe doing some actual game streams throughout the week.
Yeah, that's something we were talking about here is trying to organize some stuff. And we both have the stream key, so we're going to be, it could, sometimes it'll be Ian, sometimes it'll be me. And I'm sure sometimes it'll be a little bit of co-op action. We might even do a versus mode. Who knows? But it'll be, it'll be some good stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I guess on that note.
Yeah. That's just about everything we've got. Thank you guys for being here. As always, we are available if you need us through Discord or email. You can find me streaming on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at Average Goatee. That's me. And then down here, this is Stunt Mustard. You can find him streaming when he gets a chance.
Yep.
Man works a lot. But he does good work. So
cool.
If you guys take him.
So thank you so much for coming to hang out with us today, guys. We hope you take care, have a great week, and happy gaming.
Yeah, see you on the flip side.